Welcome, what I hesitate to call ladies and gentlemen. Welcome! I am Dr. R, and I am here to announce that I have obtained the Odama that the primitive copies you call Japanese have abandoned this object due to its destructive powers that no one can control until I came along. Now, with this Odama, no one can stop me, not even Wizwall 100. Thank you, thank you. Soon you shall all bow before me.
And so, Dr. R's terror ball reigned over the world, destroying all that stands in its way. Which leads to the question, where is Wizwar? What is he doing?
Screw that game! I'm leaving!
Our story continues.
So what game is it that took me so long to the point where it can blast right off? Well, it's not this game, which is good, or this game, which is better, but this game. Why, it's Odama, which I got for $5 plus tax. You'd be amazed at what you would find if you looked around. Anyways, $5 gaming plus tax.
First of all, what is this game? Well, judging from the cover, it looks like a strategy game. I mean, just look at it. It looks like a strategy game. There was no reason for me to buy this since I'm not a huge fan of most strategy games. Some, but not most. So why did I even buy it if it was $5 plus tax? Well, if you look at the back, you'll find out that it's a strategy game and a pinball game. What? I thought at the time. Oh, so that giant ball is a pinball. I thought it was something from a catapult. Anyways, what? Which is pretty accurate because I still can't wrap my mind around that concept even now. Strategy and pinball. I just stopped thinking about it and bought it to see how this game goes, I suppose, aside from it being cheap, and playing it went like this.
Ryder!
As you can see on screen, I don't like this game very much. Why? Because it seems like the game doesn't want you to win.
There are 3 ways to fail a stage. 1. By having your Nintendo that you're supposed to guide to the top of the stage be pushed back to the bottom of the screen past the paddles. 2. You lose all of your oh crap balls because the game's pinball physics sucks. It sucks pinballs through a straw and up its ass. 3. You run out of time, which is the most frustrating part and the main cause of death. Convenient because I tend to run out of patience whenever I try to give this stupid game a chance to be good. But speaking of that, is it any good?
Fuck no! Cause this game does not like to be controlled. It's one of those games. It does whatever it wants, whenever it wants.
I'm referring to the pinball part of the game because the pinball physics are either not that good or the precision to get it roughly to where you want it to go is bullshit. Doesn't help that you're dependent on it. You know that pinball game you get with Windows XP? Yeah, that had way better physics. Hell, Duke Nukem Forever's pinball minigame is better, and that wasn't even the game. And half of Osama's main focus is playing pinball, and it didn't even make the physics for that good? That's like getting served a steak, but it's undercooked. You can still eat it, but it's not that good. I can almost say this with confidence. You will probably not get the pinball to go where you want it to go. I'm not saying you can't, But most of the time, either the oh damn it does what it wants or something tiny on the screen blocks it.
Like the butt-biting trees that keep screwing me over.
I hate the trees in this game. They keep respawning even when you destroy them, and they bounce your oh Jesus back and forth, and it screws you over.
But wait, there's more. Rivers.
Rivers are the most powerful force of nature I've ever seen in the game. No matter how fast your oh god ball goes, the river just pushes it downtown. Anything else? Other than I'm not enjoying this, I have other things to say.
Oh wait, there's more. The items in this game.
Now, I'm not gonna say they suck or anything, but there are 3 things that just make me fly off my chair when it happens. Number 1, random item popping up. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with randomizing item pop-ups. Not when I'm dependent on them to do things to keep me alive. In order to get troops, you need the green glow, and if you don't have troops, you've lost the battle. If you don't pick up the hourglasses and you take too long to beat the level, you lose from the time over. And guess what? In desperate situations, they appear whenever they damn well feel like it, and that doesn't help. Number 2, grabbing items. To grab items in this game, you have to destroy the houses. That's usually where they are, or in the buildings or the trees, but who cares? And grabbing them is an eye-busting experience because of the stupid pinball physics in this game. I'm almost certain the dumb game is lagging when I play it. This wouldn't be such a problem until... Number 3, items disappear too quickly. Immediately after making an item appear, you'll have like less than 10 seconds or so to pick it up. Doesn't sound too hard until you look at my previous complaint. I have so many times where there were items that I wanted to grab, but they disappeared before I could grab them. The worst ones I missed, because of my previous complaint, are the hourglass, which royally sent me through the roof, and on the rare occasion it shows up, an oh suck it 1-up.
Is there more? Yes, but that would drag out this video longer, and you already get it. I don't like this game very much. I don't like the pinball aspect of this game. It sucks, and the people who like it must be from Mars.
Lazy Work Creations would like to apologize to all those living on Mars in 2045, but damn you're stupid for thinking this game is good. Now let's get on to the other half of this game, the strategy part of it.
Okay, first off, what is the point of pinball? I know what it is, but why don't we see what our fellow gamers think? Over to you guys.
It's kind of like a game. You have your ball, you launch it.
The goal of pinball? Well, there really isn't a goal to pinball. You just get the highest score until you lose. I mean...
Let's see, I'm playing pinball right now. And the whole point of the game is that you just accumulate as many points as possible.
If I had to say the purpose of a normal pinball game, it would probably be just to get the high score.
The ball goes through the board, and you get points, but there's a hole at the bottom, and you don't want the ball fall in there, because then you lose your ball, and it's like you lose a life. So you get these paddles.
Depending on the board, you could get like big bonuses and like multi-ball, but really, for the actual goal is just get a high score and, well...
Keep the ball in, and just collect as many points as possible. I mean, there's nothing more to it. It's just pinball. I'm playing the most simple game of pinball for the NES on my Game Boy.
You would be competing with other people that are playing the same game at different times and just trying to beat their score.
You get points, and there's a little hole at the bottom, and there's these 2 paddles. You don't want the ball to go into the hole, so you use the paddles and flick them up. Just like that.
That's it. Really not much to pinball other than play until you lose.
Collect points! That's all you do.
But I think the main reason to really play a pinball game is to just get the high score, and yeah.
Yeah, the whole point of the game is to get points. You get the point? And now you have a game which its whole purpose is to get points and has no goal, as in like finishing the game. And then you combine it with a game that has a goal, and how do you make strategy with that? In fact, what would a response to a strategy pinball game be?
Beat 'em on!
A pinball strategy game?
Oh, strategy pinball. Yeah. I played a game like that before.
Now, a pinball strategy game?
So it's just like beat 'em on? Beat 'em on!
I do not understand how that would work. Like,
I played a game like that before. In order to play that game, you turn off your Game Boy Advance, pull out the e-reader, toss that, throw your cards in the air. There.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. It's kind of weird, if you ask me. Like,
So it's just like beat 'em on. It's like beat 'em on. I like that one.
regular pinball has sort of strategy already, but a strategy game with pinball in it.
And then your brain explodes.
pinball's really random, so you really can't take a lot of a strategic aspect.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, getting back to the strategy, I still can't wrap my mind around it, nor do I understand why you'd make something like this. In fact, you should. Nothing seems to sound right when you mix any genre with pinball, except maybe Pinball RPG. I can see the appeal in that. Maybe when the idiot who brought this idea to the development team, they wanted to say no, but the idea was so stupid and puzzling, they couldn't utter the words no fast enough, or they were curious in what if they did make one. Well, here's what happened, development team. It sucks. Scaly gooseballs.
How are you going to play a strategy game while playing pinball? You can't use the controller, so what the game comes with is a microphone, and it's going to make you play Hey You Pikachu with it because it's going to suck! Which is what I would have called the mic that if it wasn't for the fact that it actually works and it's very responsive, and you don't even need to speak English to use it.
The mic is responsive and it clips onto your GameCube controller, if it's not like mine, so I had to place it next to me or on a nearby table. You press the button on the mic or the X button for the mic to pick up your voice. I'm assuming they made it that way for the mic to reset. Alright, since it's very responsive, I won't ask further. So the mic's fine, but what about the strategy part? There's not much strategy in this game since the goal is to get your Nintendo to its goal before time runs out. You can shout commands to your troops to lead the Nintendo to the top, after getting cards to use the command, so before commanding, you play pinball first. Well, that's not completely true. I just find it pointless to collect cards, since some of them are required to beat certain levels. Also, the reason why I say there's no strategy is because if you took out the pinball, you would have already lost, and here's why. Number 1. Getting troops. In order to get troops in this game, you need to pinball the enemy after it picks up the green glow and turning it into the divine ball where it can't hurt your troops and converts enemy troops to your side. So, without it, you don't have any troops to send. Number 2. Getting key items. Now, to get items like keys or ladders for your troops to advance or to go through the door, you need to pinball the building over, or else you're stuck. So, without it, you're screwed. Number 3. Your troops can't fight. Your troops do not fight to decrease the enemy numbers. You have to pinball the enemies to lower their numbers so your troops can break through. Now, there is a card command that lets you kill the enemies, but only if they're not overwhelmed. And even then, that's not helping enough. Number 4. The boss generals. Now, you can't beat the bosses in this game without, say it with me people, the pinball! Number 5. No pinball, no game. Without the pinball, it's game over, because the pinballs are your lives. Look, in a pinball game, that makes sense, but in a strategy game, it doesn't make sense, nor does it work. Like, you know, couldn't I just pick it up? Couldn't it be like, oh, we're gonna give you a 15-second penalty while we get your pinball back, and you watch your troops die and suffer? That would make more sense than, you know, making it your lives, but you gave 2 completely different game overs for 2 completely different games, and they don't even work well together.
Based off those points, I can't consider it a strategy game if the goal to winning requires you to work around using the O-snap, which I've already said has terrible pinball physics, to win. And so your battles are kind of luck reliant, not luck based. because you're hoping the paddles will knock the ball into the right place that you're aiming for.
It's already kind of difficult to multitask, or at least for me, while playing both pinball and voicing command. Now, in theory, it sounds like it should work just fine, but theory is only a theory after all. It doesn't mean it will work, it just sounds like it would until proven otherwise. But since you're so focused on pinball, you're not really thinking about the strategic part until your troops cry for help, and even when you go to do that, you still need to use the old balls to accomplish that. Oh, and before I forget, you can tilt the screen with the analog stick, which manages to help a little bit to fight the pinball physics. In fact, I think it's your only friend in this game that listens to you consistently. And I'll be honest, I did not finish the game like I planned to because I can't take this fucking game any longer. I did play farther on my own before, but I didn't record that at the time. Later on you have to play go up the hill, and that's where I couldn't get any farther and I stopped, and I'm not convinced to try again. That hill can go fuck itself. Overall, the game has terrible pinball physics that makes the game frustrating to play compared to other pinball games, with a strategy portion that's not very good, and just the idea of combining strategy and pinball isn't and didn't sound like a good idea. It's too bizarre to comprehend, and not in the good way. This is what I like to call a game that's not fun. Maybe some of you can get used to the bad physics to beat this game. Maybe some of you did have fun with this game. Well, I didn't finish it, so I can't say my final thoughts on it, but so far, I'm not having fun with this game and not convinced to go back and play. Oh, fuck this game!
And that's what I want to say to this game. Fuck this game, okay? I can't imagine the people who waste $60 on this miserable, mind-boggling piece of fuck feel. Because if it was me, I'd be skyrocketing through the roof because I just wasted $60 on something that's not even good. And I said wasted, not spend, because if I did spend that much money, it would actually be on something good or decent. But you know what? Oh, fuck it is not a decent game. It's not a good game. It's a miserable, unthinkable piece of fuck. $5 wasted. You know what I could have done with those $5? I could have bought 5 more cartons of these for $1 without tax at Walmart. I could have spent that $5 on more Hong Kong dubbed anime. And I'd spend way more hours on both of them. And you know what? I'd rather play red hot piece of shit. Because at least when I play it, I can expect it to work the way I expect it to. And you know what? There's multiplayer in it too, at least, so you don't have to suffer through it by yourself. And speaking of multiplayer...
I do want to test one thing out, though. Playing 2 players with this game, with one person playing the pinball and the second person playing the strategy. I wonder how that will go. But regardless, even if it did play well, if the single player isn't fun to play by yourself, that's not a good sign of a game. Go play something else.
Play a better game, like the raid mode in Resident Evil Revelation. What? A Capcom game that Wiz actually likes? Yes, in fact, I enjoy it. In fact, it's better than that other Resident Evil game that's called...
Beat 'em on!
You kind of lost me. Big ball. Big ball.
Toss that. Toss that.
Watch something like that one.
Cards in the air. There.
Now, if you excuse me, I gotta go light speed. Let me guess, that last line was really terrible, wasn't it? In fact, just because of that. Moving over here. Just a little more, because I know you're going to put this at the ending. Maybe. I don't know. You've got a day to work on this. Odama review. Ready? Light speed. Rescue! Go, go, Samurai! You can blame you, and I think partially Zero Master, also for getting me back in Power Rangers. Thanks a lot. Go Lightspeed.